Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Can you hear me, Tim?
I can hear you perfectly, Madam Chairperson.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon to everyone in the Secretariat. Is ADG there as yet?
Yes, he is. He is there.
Good morning, good afternoon, Ernesto. Welcome once again. It is a pleasure to see you all. As you will recall, yesterday we worked quite intensely together and finished the examination of item 7. We also heard from the evaluation body with its oral report and debated on this topic. Finally, we started the examination of item 8A, having concluded on decision 8A1 and 8A2. Shortly before today's session, the Bureau met for the second time and proposed the following revised timetable that has been published online. We will start today's session by continuing our examination of item 8A, namely, we will resume our debate on draft decision 8A3 and move on to 8A4. We will then continue as originally planned with item 8B on the examination of nominations for inscription on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. Distinguished delegates, we still have an important amount of work to accomplish together. For this reason, today in the Bureau meeting, we agreed on a new working method as follows. Whenever there is an amendment with one or more co-sponsors, I will ask everyone who wishes to join the amendment to raise their hand. Anyone who does not wish to join should ensure their hand is lowered. I will then ask the Secretary to read out the names of all of the co-sponsors. In this way, we can ensure that the co-sponsor names will be included in the summary records for the meeting. After the list has been read out loud, I will ask that all the co-sponsors lower their hands. At that time, I can then give the floor to anyone who may still want to intervene. Of course, this methodology takes place within the framework of the Gentleman's Agreement and decision-making procedures that I have explained earlier. I'm sure that you will agree with me that this working method will allow us to save time and advance our debates. We will also continue to use a timer during the debates. And I ask you to conclude your intervention when the time limit is reached. And I will repeat, we will continue to use a timer during the debate. And I ask you to conclude your intervention when the time limit is reached. If you all agree, then I think we're ready to begin. Let us start with 15.com 883, the combined nomination as proposed by Egypt. We were discussing the amendment on the U3 proposed by 14 committee members. Could the Secretariat please display the amendment? The list of speakers that we established for this amendment includes many names: Japan, Morocco, Azerbaijan, Jamaica, Republic of Korea, Brazil, Djibouti, Peru, and China. Let us use the methodology that I have just explained to see whether all of the requests for the floor are to support the amendment so that we can move quickly. So may I ask only those states wishing to support the amendment to raise their hand? I would like to ask the Secretary to read out the name of those supporting the amendment.
We are watching the raised hands and we'll read them as soon as we see they're finished.
わかんないね。
顔は出てます。
Madam Chair, so I have the following raised hands: Japan, Kazakhstan, Peru, Sri Lanka, Djibouti, Brazil, Kazakhstan, Peru, Panama, Morocco, China, Poland.
Botswana.
Botswana, sorry. Okay. Okay, now she has to ask them. Bring it down. Yeah, because
And Kuwait.
Yes. Kuwait, sorry, I didn't read Kuwait. Allow me to read again. Now, this is separate, just for clarification. The lists, the names of the countries that are already on the draft amendment have well been recorded. They were submitted with the draft amendment. So we are looking for countries that are not on that name. But anyway, let me read, just to clarify, in case somebody is not there. I have Botswana, Kuwait, Japan, Kazakhstan, Peru, Djibouti, Brazil. Again, Peru, because there's a second person. Panama, Morocco, China, Poland, Jamaica, and Azerbaijan.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Are there any members who wish to intervene for reasons other than supporting the amendment?
Madam Chair, Sri Lanka also has their hand raised.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Are there any members who wish to intervene for reasons other than supporting the amendment?
Yes, please.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Tim.
Perhaps you could ask those members now who wish to support the amendment to lower their hands so that anybody else who wishes to speak for another reason may raise their hand.
So members Thank you. And if there are any members who wish to intervene for reasons other than supporting the amendment, please so indicate.
Côte d'Ivoire, Madam.
Please, I recognize you, Côte d'Ivoire. Please go ahead. Côte d'Ivoire, please take the floor.
La Côte d'Ivoire soutient aussi l'amendement, cet amendement qui est proposé. Merci, Madame la Présidente. Vous m'entendez?
Thank you, Côte d'Ivoire.
Okay.
I see that this amendment enjoys an active, broad support. Let us then adopt paragraph 1, criteria U1 and U2 as initially proposed, as well as criterion U3 as shown on the screens. Is there any objection? I see none. Therefore, U3 is adopted as amended. Criterion U4 has not been amended. Can we adopt it as shown on the screen? I see no objection, so we will adopt. Criterion U5 has an amendment proposed by 14 committee members. Any objection? Adopted as amended. Before we go on any further, I see that the Secretariat would like to make a suggestion. Mr. Curtis, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, and I'm taking the floor now to explain something for the future of this item as well. In line with the committee's practice in the past few cycles, I'd like to propose some adjustments so that the structure of the decision would be similar to decisions taken by the committee in its past sessions. And you will see here that criteria U1, U2, and U4 have not been amended and would remain under paragraph 2 as initially proposed. Criteria U3 and U5, which have been amended, would be moved to a new paragraph 3 under a standard paragraph used by the committee most recently at the 14 COM last year. And this standard paragraph reads as follows. Further decides that based on the information provided by the state party to the committee at its present session, the following criteria for inscription on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity is satisfied. In fact, I have discussed this with members who proposed this amendment and a number of other amendments that we have received so far. I understand that all concerned are comfortable with this proposal. If this is agreeable to the committee, I would ask my colleagues from the Secretariat to include this new paragraph so that the committee can examine it, and we would also be ready to implement the same approach should the committee propose to amend other draft decisions under this item. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Thank you for this proposal. I think it is indeed important for us to remain consistent with the committee's past practice. Is there any objection? I don't see any objection, so may I therefore ask the Secretariat to implement this proposal? So the decision will be displayed on the screen. So, Mr. Curtis, we are awaiting the display of the decision on the screen. Am I right?
It is on its way, Madam Chair. Please excuse us. We just need a minute to get it running. We have it, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So we are now ready to continue our examination of the decision. Can we now adopt paragraph 2 as a whole? Adopted. Paragraph 3 has the standard wording proposed by the Secretariat and includes criteria U3 and U5, which we already adopted. Can we adopt paragraph 3 as shown on the screens? Adopted. Could we adopt paragraph 4 as amended? No objection? Adopted. I understand that Netherlands has an amendment. Netherlands, please take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With an eye on the just adopted amendments on the one hand and the concerns raised by the evaluation body on the other, we would propose a new paragraph 5. And should I read it?
Yes, please go ahead.
Requests the state party to submit for the next 4 years after inscription biannual reports on the results of the measures taken to ensure the safeguarding of the elements, and invites the state party to ensure that a product-oriented approach focused on marketing and commercialization is avoided, and that the safeguarding of the cultural meanings and social functions of the elements and the participation of the community are prioritized, highlighted, and clearly described in the biannual reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Netherlands. Can we see the proposal of Netherlands on the screen? Thank you. Can we adopt the proposal of Netherlands? If there are no objections.
Madam Chair, Panama is requesting the floor. Can you hear me?
Please go ahead. Yes, Panama, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a very important proposal from the Netherlands, but since it has come to us at this moment, and there will be other nominations that has been referred that will be contested, I would suggest that this paragraph be kept on hold until we decide further in the debates what to do with the proposal, because I would like to think that this does not apply only to the situation with this nomination. This is a new request for the state party in relation to the biennial reports that would have to be submitted. Many other countries will be in the same situation, and I would suppose that this is not only in the case of this one. Therefore, I would suggest not to adopt this resolution or this decision with this additional paragraph at this time, and kept the proposal of the Netherlands to be decided at the end of our debates by Friday or Saturday morning afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Panama. I will ask the Secretariat to reply, after which I will ask Jamaica and Czechia to take the floor, as they've indicated they want to intervene. So I'll ask Mr. Curtis, please.
Madam Chair, I'm not sure I can reply as to whether or not this paragraph should be adopted. that is for the committee members to decide. On the procedure, normally once the decision is taken, it is taken. We do not come back and open it again. If I may, I am not sure we'll have time to be coming back to individual decisions at the end. We're already around time. However, either the whole decision is suspended until this is sorted out, but we cannot adopt the decision and then come back and reinsert the paragraph. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis.
And I ask,
Jamaica, please go ahead and take the floor as indicated.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jamaica just wishes to note that thanking Netherlands for its intervention, but this has implications for the new reporting mechanism. And I don't know to what extent it would affect that process, which, as you know, is being implemented this year. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Jamaica. Czechia?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My understanding of this proposal of the Netherlands is that this relates really to this urgent safeguarding problem, not to other nominations, because we are having only Namibia ahead of us, and this biannual reporting would not be pertinent for the representative list. But in the past, it had been taken, I think this decision had been taken in the past by the committee to ask the state party when there were doubts about the sustainability or effectiveness of the safeguarding measures, but still the element was inscribed. So the committee decided, please, Egypt, could you come earlier than in 4 years and tell us how this plan has been working? I think that's the point of the whole thing, and it would not relate to any other files because there would not be the same situation with the representative list files. That's why Czechia is able to support the Netherlands proposal.
Thank you, Czechia. Saudi Arabia?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The question here is raised to a number of countries and members. First of all, I would like to thank the Netherlands for their proposal. And we understand that in their aim to safeguard and protect this element, they have added this clause. But looking now at this, and my question now is to the Secretariat as well, and Mr. Curtis, if you can please answer. Adding this now, is it really going to be conducive to accepting all folders or not? That's number one. Number two, is it something that can be solved without jeopardizing our time and effort that we are having here today? Because as I see, the discussion will keep going on now, and I don't think it will stop anytime soon. So we would like to hear your advice, Mr. Curtis. I know that you want to stay, you want to keep it to the committee to discuss this, but please, we would like to hear from you in this regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Saudi Arabia. Sri Lanka, please take the floor.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We agree with the Czechia's suggestion, and we support the Netherlands amendment. I think it's a very timely thing, and this kind of matters have to be considered on case-by-case basis, and it applies very well to this particular nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Lanka. Switzerland, the floor is yours.
Merci Madame la Présidente. Nous saluons la proposition faite par les Pays-Bas et nous soutenons l'amendement tel qu'il a été affiché sur l'écran. Concernant le souci exprimé par le Panama et par d'autres délégations, nous partageons l'interprétation faite par la Tchéquie que cette exception à la règle s'applique uniquement aux candidatures destinées pour la liste de la sauvegarde urgente. Merci.
Thank you. Thank you, Switzerland. I will now give the floor to the Secretariat at the end of the list of the following speakers: Kuwait, Poland, Panama, Sweden. I will now give the floor to Kuwait.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, let me thank Netherlands for their amendment. But I think, as we had in the previous meeting, and I'd like to echo what Jamaica said, we don't want to change the reporting mechanism. We have a trust in the state parties to follow up the procedure. So I think, Kuwait thinks, changing the reporting mechanism is not wise at this time. We can mention, is the state party to make sure the part of commercialization is be looked into it, but the reporting mechanism, I think, should be stayed as it is. So Kuwait, don't agree with the addition. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Kuwait. Poland, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Poland wishes to express gratitude for the delegation of Netherlands for submitting the proposal of the amendment. We would like to point out that we are dealing with an element which is requested to be inscribed for the urgent safeguarding list, and the decision further expresses the agreement for the international assistance for Egypt. So for that reason, Poland wishes to thank also the distinguished delegation of Czechia for giving the additional information. And for that reason, we would also like to support this amendment. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Panama, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just would like to know if we are changing the rules in this sense of the biennial reports. Can the Secretariat respond to me if with this proposal, are we changing the criteria for the following biennial reports? Thank you.
Thank you, Panama. Sweden, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Very quickly, we concur with what has been stated by first and foremost the Netherlands, then Czechia, Sri Lanka, that I don't see on the list, but I understood that they also support this amendment, Switzerland and Poland. So Sweden would like to add its voice in support for this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Sweden. Brazil and Botswana also indicated that they wish to take the floor. So I will now recognize Brazil.
Gracias, señora presidenta. Buenos días a todos. He escuchado con gran atención este debate que me parece muy importante. Brasil no estimularía este debate a esta altura, sobre todo porque tenemos problemas de tiempo y ya existe un sistema de informaciones que deben ser presentadas por los Estados miembros cuando tienen elementos inscritos en la lista de Urgent Safeguarding. ¿No nos parece que es el momento de crear un segundo sistema en estas condiciones de discusión? Por lo tanto, la posición de Brasil es no estimular este tipo de debate en este momento, no en tanto creo que podemos pensarlo en la próxima reunión del comité. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Brazil. Botswana?
Thank you, Chairperson. We're happy to see you in the chair. If we look at the operational guidelines, and unless I'm interpreting it incorrectly, the aspect of commercialization is part of the sustainability element. And I thought that for such elements to be sustainable, they need some form of commercialization.
Botswana, please hold for a moment. We have a point of order from Kuwait.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, as from the discussion, I would like for the Secretariat, please, some state parties requested to remove this paragraph. So it should be on the screen is the point of view of the state parties not having. So all what I see in front of me is the Netherlands, and we have intervention saying, you know, we don't agree with the changing of the reporting mechanism. And I've heard some of the state parties, so we should have on the screen that option so people can understand, understand the discussion, please. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Kuwait. Noted. We will ask Botswana to continue. Okay. Botswana?
Madam Chair, we would like to support the views expressed by colleagues from Kuwait and Panama and others who says that this would be changing the reporting mechanism. And we would rather not go for this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Kuwait? Kuwait, Morocco, Peru, you've also asked to take the floor. So we will Morocco, please go ahead and take the floor.
Merci Madame la Présidente. Très rapidement, je voudrais simplement souscrire à ce qui a été dit par l'ambassadeur du Koweït, par mes collègues de Panama et du Brésil, tout en remerciant évidemment la délégation des Pays-Bas, mais je ne pense pas que ce soit opportun pour le moment. Merci beaucoup Madame la Présidente. Je voudrais que le nom du Maroc figure aussi sur la liste avec le Koweït, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
Thank you, Morocco. Peru, you wish to take the floor? Please go ahead.
Sí, Presidenta, muchísimas gracias. Muy buenos días con todos y con todas. El Perú suscribe que no debe incluirse esta enmienda, que agradecemos a los Países Bajos, por las dos razones que han sido expresadas. En primer lugar, porque cambia el mecanismo de presentación de los informes en relación a la lista de salvaguardia urgente, y eso debe ser objeto de un debate a profundidad y no de una decisión en relación a un elemento específico. Y en segundo lugar, respaldar también lo que ya acaba de ser dicho, y es que los elementos del arte tradicional han sido siempre objeto de comercialización desde tiempos inmemoriales, han sido objeto de trueque o de cambio, ¿no es cierto?, entre comunidades a partir de cada producción de cada comunidad. Entonces, la comercialización ha acompañado siempre la creación artística tradicional. Y en el Perú consideramos que la búsqueda de nuevos mercados, ¿no es cierto?, para el arte tradicional es una forma de salvaguardia, es una forma de garantizar la continuidad de los conocimientos ancestrales, que es lo que nos preocupa en la Convención para la Salvaguardia. No hay que demonizar, no hay que satanizar la comercialización. Obviamente no es el fin de la salvaguardia, pero es parte de la salvaguardia. Gracias, Presidenta.
Thank you. Thank you. Colleagues, I will ask Mr. Curtis to take the floor after Djibouti has intervened. They have indicated that they would like to intervene. And so, Djibouti, please go ahead, after which I will ask the Secretariat to make comments.
Vous m'entendez? Est-ce qu'on m'entend?
On vous entend très bien.
Madame la Présidente, je vais être bref, c'était juste pour me joindre aux propos de la délégation du Koweït, du Maroc, du Botswana et dernièrement ce qui a été dit par la délégation de Pérou. Merci beaucoup et j'aimerais bien que Djibouti figure sur la décision pour biffer l'amendement présenté par les Pays-Bas. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Mr. Curtis?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I think there was a question from Panama and from Saudi Arabia, which were interrelated. It is true, as was said by the delegation of Czechia, that there is a precedent for such an amendment. I don't have it at the top of my head, but indeed, in the case of an urgent safeguarding file, the committee has asked for an interim report before, so it would not be the first time. This does not, in a way, affect the overall reporting insofar as state parties are required to report every 4 years on the urgent safeguarding list, on their elements on the urgent safeguarding list, as a separate reporting mechanism to the periodic reporting. The periodic reporting on the implementation of the Convention includes reports on the representative list elements. So, in this case, the implications, if I may, of this decision is that the submitting state would have to report once in 2 years, and then it would be back to its normal cycle, which would be, it would have to report in 2 years, it would then report 4 years, 2 years after that, which would have been its normal 4-year reporting, and then every 4 years thereafter. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Japan has asked to take the floor. Go ahead, Japan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Well, we are not here to intervene in either side of these positions, but I was just wondering if something like that could help. And if it does help, I think it can be a proposal. If you look at the draft proposal from Netherlands, the second half, after the part and invites the state party to ensure that, and then towards the end, this particular this particular part may be a little bit too inscriptive in a way. So perhaps as a decision, we can stop before and then perhaps the point of view expressed in the second part of this proposal can be recorded as statements made by certain countries in the record of this meeting. I hope this can settle the differences. Thank you.
Thank you, Japan. Members, I understand that the proposal of Netherlands does not enjoy active broad support, and therefore we will not include this new paragraph. As there is no amendment on other remaining paragraphs, would the committee be ready to directly adopt the entire decision as a whole?
Madam Chair, Netherlands is asking for the floor.
Please go ahead, Mr. Curtis. Yes.
I think Tim referred to me. Yes. Okay, thank you. I was wondering if there's active broad support for the compromise that Japan suggested.
May I ask all those who are supporting the proposal by Japan to raise your hands? And I would ask the Secretariat to read the list, please, of those who have raised their hands.
Madam Chair, at the moment I read Switzerland, Netherlands, Sweden, Czechia, Japan, and Poland. Okay.
Kuwait, you have a point of order. Please go ahead.
Yes, can we see what's Japan proposing, please? So people can, decide. Thank you.
So as I understand, Madam Chair, may I? May I check that we understand properly the amendment of the proposal of Japan, which I understood was to delete the rest of the sentence after "and invites," to delete all of that. And if I may, I would read what the proposal, and if I'm wrong, please, the delegation of Japan may wish to inform me. The proposal, the paragraph would then read, request the state party to submit for the next 4 years after inscription biannual reports on the results of the measures taken to ensure the safeguarding of the element. Thank you.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I have another suggestions to add.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. As far as the paragraph is concerned, the decision is concerned, that is right. And in addition to that, the viewpoints expressed in the second half of this draft can be recorded in the record of discussions of this particular meeting. That is another suggestion that I wanted to make. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuwait. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Japan. Kuwait wants to take the floor.
Yes, just, Madam Chair, trying to get consensus and try to move forward. After what I see what Japan is proposing, we have no problem with the Japan, just to meet in the middle and to move forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I'll ask the Secretariat.
So at this stage, we also have then the Japanese proposal supported by, sorry, I'm a little bit confused. I understand that the supporting, I think, allow us to get the screen cleared, because what I understand at this stage, we have proposals from Japan supported by Switzerland, Netherlands, Sweden, Japan, Czechia, Poland, and now Kuwait. Perhaps, Madam Chair, we could use a methodology, and all of those who support Morocco, I also see Morocco supporting. Saudi Arabia has, again, those who wish to support the Japanese amendment, could you please raise your hands in the chat? We have Morocco, Botswana, Sri Lanka, Switzerland, Saudi Arabia, Netherlands, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, it's okay, go ahead, Sweden, Jamaica, Djibouti. Rwanda. Brazil. Yeah. Okay, just.
I see that the proposal of Japan enjoys broad support. So can we adopt it? So we will adopt. So we will adopt paragraph 5 as amended. As there is no amendment on other remaining paragraphs, would the committee be ready to directly adopt the entire decision as a whole? I therefore declare decision 15.com 883 adopted as seen on the screens. Egypt, the floor is yours for 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And on behalf of the Egyptian government, I would like to express my gratitude and thanks to the committee members for the inscription of the handmade weaving in Upper Egypt on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. This inscription promotes intangible cultural heritage and reinforces our commitment to safeguard, promote, and transmit the elements. Our invaluable recognition would not be possible without the support and efforts of the rural and urban communities in Upper Egypt, who are the bearers of the traditional weaving and its traditional loom, to whom I would like to salute and acknowledge their priceless efforts. I also wish to thank the evaluation body for assessing this nomination and the international assistance. We value their opinions on the latter, and we will take them into consideration. Additionally, I want to express our gratitude for UNESCO Secretariat, particularly the culture sector and the Living Heritage Entity, who have shown outstanding professionalism in organizing this session and was constantly available to respond to member states' needs. Last but not least, Madam Chair, I would like to express our thanks to you for your wise chairmanship and hope that we'll be able to meet soon in Presentia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Egypt. Hope to meet you soon in Jamaica. Evaluation body, could you please introduce a fourth and last nomination to the urgent safeguarding list? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next file is Exen/Ghana/OBN/TSI Kasago Ancestral Musical Sound Knowledge and Skills submitted by Namibia. Exen Ghana, Papanastasi Kasigo, and sorry for the pronunciation. Ancestral musical sound knowledge and skills related to the specific traditional music of the Nama people, one of Namibia's tribal minority groups. The evaluation body considered that the nomination meets all 5 criteria, and in particular, appreciated that capacity building efforts will help community members to acquire skills to help them carry out awareness raising programs, providing a strategic framework for further capacity building activities. In conclusion, the evaluation body recommends the inscription of this element on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. The evaluation body considers that the state party has requested international assistance from the Intangible Cultural Heritage Fund in the amount of US dollars 99,329 for the implementation of the safeguarding plan for the element. The evaluation body considers that the project improves the visibility of the element and of living heritage in general, and increase the transmission of music performance skills among young people. The budget includes a detailed description of the specifically itemized expenses. In conclusion, the evaluation body recommends the approve the international assistance request from Namibia for the implementation of the safeguarding plan for the element and grants the amount of US dollar 99,329 to the state party. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Bureau did not receive any request for debate or amendment for this file. May I therefore ask the committee to adopt the draft decision on this file as shown on the screens as a whole. I see no objection. I therefore declare decision 15.com 8A4 adopted. Namibia, you are now recognized for 2 minutes.
Madam Chairperson, distinguished committee members and observers, since the Namibian delegation is taking the floor for the first time, let me congratulate you, Madam Chair, on your election as the chairperson of this session and for your excellent stewardship of proceeding since the start. Namibia further thank Jamaica for hosting the session. We enjoyed the loud reggae music. On behalf of all Nama-speaking community and the Namibian public at large, I'm delighted to accept the inscription of Aikan Ghana of Ansti Kasiku, ancestral music, sound knowledge, and skills, onto the list of the intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. At the same time, Namibia wholeheartedly thanks this honorable session for approving the international assistance requesting amounting to 100,000 US for safeguarding this volatile element. Namibia further takes note of the recommendation presented by the committee as part of its decision to inscribe the Namibian element. The state commits itself to implementing the recommendation without delay. This commitment is made with an understanding that the element, which plays a vital role in the Nama-speaking community, is on the verge of extinction and requires urgent intervention in order to rescue this important heritage. The Namibian government further commits to continue giving priority to the implementation of the 2003 Convention, specifically through continued capacity building, improved visibility of the element and living heritage in general. Finally, Namibia thanks the Secretariat and the expert body for the work they continue to do in ensuring higher standard in evaluating nomination from submitting states. Again, on behalf of the Nama-speaking community in Namibia and the entire Namibian citizenry, we thank you for the favorable consideration of Aikan Kana of Ansi Kasiku, ancestral music, sound knowledge, and skills. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Namibia.